think back to that first few days of 2018, 6 years ago, and it was when we were seriously thinking about selling the house and getting the boat. Yeah. Do you remember?
I do, yeah.
6 years. I can't believe 6 years.
It's flown.
Did you ever think that, like, when we were sat talking about it all the time, did you ever think that, like, 6 years later, we'd be sat in this damp, drafty barn where the kind of wind is howling outside and it's raining and...
I didn't even think we'd be in this country.
Really? Where did...
Scotland. I didn't think we would be in Scotland.
Where did you think we might still be in the boat or in the house or somewhere different?
I didn't think we would still be in the boat 6 years later.
No.
I expected to be on the boat maybe 3 to 4 years at the most.
Well, I remember us talking about it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know whether we'll be on it that long. Because I remember always being not scared, but a little bit, well, actually a little bit scared of saying to you, I don't want to make a long-term plan and this to be like a forever thing.
Yeah.
It'll be, and I remember us saying that I think you were maybe saying like 5 or 6 years, and I was thinking, oh no, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
And it turned out to be 2, just over 2, didn't it?
Just over 2 years, yeah.
But like 6 years later, after that, and we're here in this barn, I mean, is there anywhere else, after everything that's happened in the last 6 years, do you think we should be anywhere else?
No, I don't. I think it's one of the best moves we've made. Definitely.
It's weird how we make these moves, though, isn't it? Because it's like there's always like a precursor to it. There's always something that leads us up to it. It's like moving onto the boat, because we were both working so much, and the only chances we had to get together were to chill out, and we'd head straight to Stanley Ferry. Do you remember?
Yeah, we did. We used to do it nearly every day.
Yeah, and we used to take Dylan and just walk kind of up one side, over the bridge and down the other, or just up one and back the other. And it was that far end, do you remember where the loch was?
Yes, I do remember.
I nearly said loch as in loch. And it was up where the loch was. And it was just so peaceful up there.
Yeah, it was so quiet.
I know we'd done it before, but I don't know. It just...
Yeah, the first time it was sort of... It ended in disaster, really, didn't it?
But that's what I mean. And it was kind of tempting us back when we were walking up and down, especially in that summer. I think it must have been the summer of 2017.
It was a hot summer.
That it first started in us minds, didn't it? Because we were thinking about it for so long. I mean, didn't you ever? Because I remember I kind of brought it up as a something we could do, and you were like, "Oh, we can't afford it. There's no way we'd be able to afford it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, if I find a way, would you want to do it?" And you were, "Oh yeah, definitely."
Yeah.
But if we could rewind and go back to that moment, and I remember where we were up at that nice part at Stanley Ferry.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
If we could rewind to that bit, and I said that, would you still kind of do everything exactly the same again?
Yeah, I think I would actually, yeah. Yeah, I would.
How sure were you that it would work? Because, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but you have no clue when it comes to, do you know what I mean, budgeting.
No, I don't. I trust in what you tell me.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So how much faith did you have in kind of the planning and me saying, well, yeah, it'd work if we do this, this and this?
Oh, 100%.
If we hadn't have done it, do you think we would have still been exactly as we were?
If it hadn't to be for COVID, yes, we would be exactly as we were. But COVID would have changed us lives anyway.
Yeah.
Because of your business and everything else.
Yeah.
We'd have probably struggled.
The thing is, you're just so chilled and content that I can just see, like, if we hadn't have done it 6 years later, that you'd still be driving buses.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd ever change, would you?
No, I wouldn't, no.
If it weren't for me kind of pushing.
That's right. No, I wouldn't. I'd still be doing the same thing.
You'd be happy and content doing it.
Yeah, I would.
That's
I'd
the
still
thing.
come home moaning.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you were driving buses up here?
Oh, no. No, not on these roads. No, it's too busy and they're too narrow, some of them.
Taking a 189 up Glenloth.
Oh, my God. Not that any buses go up there.
Was there a time before we moved on the boat when we were kind of planning it and you ever doubted what we were going to do?
No, I didn't. No, didn't doubt it at all.
So you weren't changing your mind or
No,
kind of thinking, well, actually, this might not be a good idea, or this might be bad for us, or
no,
I might not enjoy this, or I don't want to feel this.
no.
You see what I mean? It's always this black and white thinking with you. It's just
Yeah,
like,
it is, yeah.
it'll be right. Where do you get that from?
Oh, I don't know. My dad were like that.
I wish I could be like that, where you just kind of decide on something and just do it, and you're not even thinking and trying to process all the things that might happen. How do you not do that? That's just. I'm jealous that you can do that.
Your brain processes everything from the moment you open your eyes on a morning.
Yeah, I'm going back to the question about changing your mind and having doubts. I was changing my mind every half an hour.
Yeah.
I used to go into the gym on a morning and see the same clients that I'd probably seen the day before, and I'd be like, "Oh, are you getting the boat this morning then, Colin?" No. And then the next day, "Are you getting the boat this morning, Colin?" "Oh yeah, we're getting it again now." And I was like the butt of all the jokes. It's like 1 minute I am, 1 minute I'm not. And it's not that I was changing my mind about doing it. It was just that I was trying to process all the positives and negatives.
But you're like that with every decision. You are. You're. And it's not that you're indecisive. That's your ADHD brain.
But there must have been
doing stuff.
There must have been points for you as we were going through that process of like the house up for sale and me selling the business and you just about to hand your notice in. There must have been a point where you kind of just took a step back and thought, hang on a minute, we're going to have no jobs, no money, because every single penny we had was going into this boat. Literally, we were going onto the boat with no savings, were we?
That's right, yeah.
And so we were selling the house. We wouldn't have a house. We wouldn't have any money. We wouldn't have many possessions, no jobs, just this boat. Surely you must have kind of stepped back at some point during that whole process and thought,
No.
what? How can you not think
because
that?
you'd worked out how we could survive. You worked that out, and I trusted that.
Do you miss anything about life before Foxes Afloat?
No, because it is different, but I don't miss that. You know what I mean? The only thing I do miss my colleagues and the banter I had with my colleagues. That's the only thing I miss. And I miss not being close to my family. But I think a lot of that is due to the fact that my dad isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason, because I do see more of my sister than I used to do when I lived 2 miles away from her.
That's a weird thing, isn't it? That literally, as the crow flies, it was probably about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, wasn't it? And you see probably twice as much of her now that we live like 9 hours away than we did when we lived 5 minutes away.
I think it's because my parents are not here anymore that I miss my family.
Yeah. It's weird how you miss them, but you see them more. That's a weird thing to try and get your head around.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But you were always a lad's lad, so I'm not surprised that you miss the other bus drivers you used to work with.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's certain drivers I do miss.
That's another thing, apart from the being able to not think about anything and just enjoy life, which I'm jealous of. You've got the other thing that I'm jealous of, which is just to be able to socialise. You can walk into a room full of people and just...
I can talk to anybody.
And I wish I could do that. I don't know how you can... I don't think I miss much. I miss the gym sometimes. I don't miss getting up at 5:30 5 days a week to go in and open it.
But you get up at 6:30 nearly 5 or 7 days a week now.
Yeah, I know that.
But it's a natural wake up, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, I miss, because I'm not a people person. It's not that I don't miss the people. And the whole reason of me opening the gym was because it was just me and one other person, and I could cope with that.
Just cope with it, yeah.
And so to have just like one person, then a 10-minute break, one person, 10-minute break, and that really worked, and I think that's why I enjoyed it. Yeah. I mean, there's certain people, it's like John. I miss the sessions with John, especially the last one. I think.
But you didn't have sessions with John. He used to come into the gym, and you'd just sit and chat and eat crisps or something.
The last session. The last session we ever had, because I sold the gym on a Friday. My last day was a Friday.
Yeah.
And it was literally the week before we moved on the boat. And John wasn't there the last day. John was there. I think it was the Monday, because he used to come for the weekend. So his last session with me was the Monday.
Yeah.
And I remember we were sat on the mezzanine level of the gym, and we were kitted up. So I had my shorts and hoodie on, and he had his shorts and his t-shirt on. And we were just sat there eating bacon fries, drinking Starbucks lattes, and we sat there for, it must have been 2.5 hours.
And that was his fitness training.
That was his fitness training. But the thing is, if you look back at him then and then look at him now, you can tell that he used to come to personal training sessions and eat bacon fries and drink lattes.
Don't tell him that.
I do miss that. I miss that kind of that one-to-one interaction with. I don't have any friends really, but
yeah,
I think that's the one thing pre-Foxes Afloat that I do miss.
Yeah.
If you knew back in 2018 how it was all going to turn out, kind of the boat journey, Scotland, Foxes Afloat, and everything that's happened that we haven't had control of,
Yeah.
would you do it again?
I think I would, yeah. Yeah, I think I would. I wouldn't change a thing.
That's the next question I was going to ask is, would you change any of it at all?
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't change a thing. I've loved every minute of it.
Not even the boat builder?
No, I would definitely not change the boat builder.
Like we'd say that on camera anyway.
No. Kevin Sue, yeah, no, wouldn't change a thing.
I think we met some amazing boat builders when we were looking.
Yeah, we did.
And I think it was kind of fate that led us to Kev and Sue and Bickerstaff.
Yeah.
Because I think instinctively, the first boat builder that we really got on with was Kinney, wasn't it?
Yeah, another Scouser.
At Swan Boats.
It were always the Scousers.
Apart from the man crush thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, we both rolled up and we were like, we'd not seen him and we were looking for this boat builder and he walked out and he looked about 20 and we were like, is your boss about? I'm Kinney. I'm 40. It's like, Christ.
Yeah, he looked 20 years younger than he actually was.
But I mean, going back to kind of doing things differently.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have changed anything about the boats and the life we had on the boats, was it what you expected and that's why you wouldn't change anything?
No, I didn't expect Foxes Afloat to be as big as it was, as big as it is.
What was the best thing for you, looking back? Just the life kind of from moving on board to moving off at North Kilworth. What was the best part of boat life?
I think it was meeting all the friends that we've made, all the people. We've made some amazing friends.
Yeah.
That we're still in touch with.
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
And that we're still, some of them we class as family.
Yeah. That was a big bonus.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of people, didn't we?
Yeah.
Over those 2 years. Thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
I think for me, it is the people, but it was also finding those places where I think I was surprised sometimes how much I like certain places, because I always imagined that we'd spend all the time searching out these isolated little oasis of, do you know what I mean, of quietness and nothing, where we could just chill all the time and not be disturbed.
Yeah.
I mean, places like Devil's Garden on the Weaver.
Yeah.
Remember that? No roads or paths really near it. It was just, it was lovely. But then I kind of surprised myself because you'd find places like Salthouse Dock right in the centre of Liverpool.
Which is so noisy.
Which is opposite the police station.
Yeah.
Remember when I took the drone up?
Oh, yeah. And then you spotted the police station from the drone camera and thought, oh my God.
The next thing I knew, there's police vans driving around looking for me. But yeah, places like that, which is like constantly noisy 24 hours a day.
An amazing place, though.
But I could have lived there. I mean, we talked about taking a winter mooring one time, didn't we? There?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. The only thing that put us off was being locked in.
Yeah. And then I think Devil's Garden on the Weaver, I think Salthouse Dock, complete polar opposites when it comes to moorings.
Yeah, yeah.
but I enjoyed them both for such different reasons, but equally enjoyed them. And then, of course, I mean, like Peak Forest Canal, that
Favourite place.
That made a lot of living on Silver Fox for me, was just that one canal. And I mean, you were talking about people and all the nice people we met and people that feel like family. I think the majority of people we know now and are friends with are actually people that live alongside the Peak Forest Canal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
I can probably think of 6 or 7 just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That we talk to now, like 3 years later. And I think the fact that we spent 2 winters on the Peak Forest as well.
Yeah.
Shows
a white Christmas there.
We did have that brilliant white Christmas, didn't we?
Yeah.
Remember where Otis was kind of jumping over it was kind of holding onto the top of the pram cover.
Yeah.
And it was snowing. That was magical.
Yeah. It was brilliant.
What didn't you like?
What didn't I like?
Yeah.
I didn't like the stress that a minority of people caused, because there are some people on there on the canals that are not nice people.
I think that's like anywhere in life, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but because the canals are a close knit community, I think you recognise it more.
For me, 99.99% of boaters, people on the towpath, staff, they were all either lovely or approachable or friendly.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's right.
Or not mean.
Yeah, that's right.
It was that, and I think the thing is when the bad things happen, and it wasn't a lot, was it? There wasn't a lot of bad people.
No, there weren't. No,
it sticks in your memory, doesn't it? The occasions where they are bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it does stick in your memory.
Thing is, once you start caring about what people like that think, you're kind of a prisoner to them. And
we learnt pretty quickly not to care about them, didn't we?
That's exactly right. And I think when we put in our lives out there for people to see, I don't think, looking back, that we were... I think we knew that trolls were out there, but I don't think you're ever ready for it. Some of the stuff that you get. I mean, being told that you're going to be burnt alive in your boat.
Yeah.
Being told that you deliberately killed your dad.
Yeah.
For footage, and
yeah,
it's just I don't think you can ever prepare yourself for things.
No,
like
there
that.
are some things that do play on your mind, but you have to ignore it.
Yeah. It's like what I said. If you start caring about what these people are saying, you are going to be a prisoner to them.
Yeah.
And I think that was a hard lesson to learn. And I'm glad that we learned that in that first year, 18 months. That
it would be quite easy to turn into them.
Yeah, yeah.
And for revenge, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be quite easy to turn into them, but luckily we didn't.
No. It's like the dark side and the Jedi, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Where the dark side are trying to pull you into that world.
Into their vileness.
And you just resist it. And
yeah.
No, I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
When I think of people on the canals, I never think about them as mean or bad.
No, I don't.
Looking back, I always see a really nice, friendly community.
So do I.
And I think the only other thing that I didn't like was just that the trigger things like generators and engine noise.
Inconsideration.
Yeah, just selfish people, which, again, tiny minority, but
it does spoil it.
It does happen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think we learned anything more about each other living on the boat?
Oh my God, yes.
What did you learn about? Either like about me or about us or about yourself?
I learnt more about you. Because when I was working, I never ever really saw how bad your mental health was. Because numerous times I said to you, "You're getting worse. You're getting worse."
You used to say that a lot, and that used to worry me, because I used to, you know what I'm like with health anxiety. So I used to convince myself when you said that I was getting worse.
Yeah.
And I never, deep down, I never actually thought I was. I thought it was just, right, we never used to see each other because we were both working 12 plus hours a day, 5-6 days a week. And then we went from that to suddenly living 24 hours together in this tiny little steel tube.
Yeah.
So the logical part of my mind was saying, I'm not getting worse. He's just actually now seeing what's going on.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
But how did that feel?
Ooh. The realisation of how bad you were, well, it was quite shocking, really. It was difficult to deal with, and yeah, really difficult to deal with. It's hard. I can't explain it. Can't explain it.
I thought the realisation of it was going to split us up.
Did you really?
Yeah, a couple of times.
No, that's never going to happen.
Mostly during meltdowns. You remember that time we were coming in, we were on the Leeds-Liverpool, we'd passed Wigan, we were coming up towards Blackburn and we were struggling to find a mooring. We didn't want to go in Blackburn because we knew it was going to be noisy and maybe a little bit rough. So we were desperately trying to find a mooring and we couldn't find a mooring. And I can't remember what triggered it, but I had such a meltdown and it came on so fast.
Yeah, you did. I have no idea what caused it, even to this day.
And
it was bad.
Yeah, I remember it was one of the worst I'd ever had and it just came from nowhere. And I thought...
Because at first I didn't see it as a meltdown, did I?
No. And I seriously thought you were going to leave me when you saw that one, because I think that was like the worst you'd ever seen.
Mm.
And I thought that was it. The look, just the look on your face. But I make that mistake a lot because a lot of the times you look angry and you're not angry.
No, I'm not.
I explain that because I still can't get my head around that. That's why I don't talk sometimes.
It's not anger, it's worry. It's just worry and stress. That's all it is. It's never anger.
But because you never talk.
Yeah.
I take that as because you're angry, or I can't process that it's because you don't know what to say. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so that just, the overthinking kind of kicks in, and then it's even worse that I feel that you either don't care or that you're angry, and I know that you're not angry and that you do care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get that. Yeah. Why don't you try and talk or look less angry?
To look less angry. It's like you cannot control facial expressions. You can't control it. I know exactly sometimes how you're thinking or whatever just by looking at you. And you don't read people's faces very well, do you?
No.
So you see anger and it's not. But I don't talk about it because it's just something I've never done. I've never done it. I've never done that.
No. I think the other time was I melted down. We were on the Colin Canal. It was after you'd recovered from COVID, and I think your dad had died about a week before, and I had this meltdown, and we were arguing about something, and I just said something about you being so miserable.
Oh yeah.
And you know when you say something, and in the instant that you say it, I could have battered myself around the head.
Yeah.
I still haven't forgiven myself for that.
Yeah, no, I haven't. But there were nothing to forgive.
I don't think in 30 years I've ever said anything like that where I just feel so ashamed. It was like I'd murdered a family. Do you know what I mean? You know, like when you run some wildlife over on the road and you just get that instant kind of guilt and regret, and it was that, and I still feel it when I think about what I said. I'm so sorry I said that because
I've forgotten it.
I did think you were going to leave me for that.
No.
I think
it's never going to happen.
That was one of the worst times, though, wasn't it? I think for us.
Yeah, it was. That was an awful time.
I know we couldn't have done anything about that. That couldn't have been changed by us.
No, it wasn't just us, though, was it? It was.
I know.
Thousands and thousands of others it were affecting.
Millions of families, wasn't it? Really. And it's weird how quick it came because we were on. I think we were around Braunston. Do you remember with what are the names on Narrowboat Poppy, Boating Beyond? I've forgotten the names.
Oh,
they're going to love us for that. And we are getting old. Are we putting that down to like old age memory loss?
I think so.
Yeah. But we we were coming up the names will come to. I'm sure the names will come to us.
Yeah.
We were coming up the Oxford, weren't we?
Yes.
And we were having a right laugh. We were together for weeks.
We were, yeah. We were having a brilliant laugh.
And I think we got to Wedgwood, didn't we?
Yes.
Barlaston.
Yes.
And
Right outside the Wedgwood factory.
yeah, and you went to your dad's to.
It was just a visit, weren't it?
Well, he'd been diagnosed with anemia.
Yeah.
So you were in this bubble, as they had at the time.
Yeah, as what they called a bubble, yeah.
But they diagnosed him with anemia, and he actually had COVID. So he ended up giving COVID to you and your sister and everybody else, and that just. And it just kind of, from that moment, wasn't it? And me, and you gave it to them too as well on the boat.
Yeah.
And
it spread quick,
and
very
just,
quick.
For us personally, that was kind of the moment, wasn't it? That it just, and then probably that month, 2 months after that.
Yeah.
Do you find that you kind of blank some of that out?
Yes, I do, yeah. And it's not done purposely, it's just sort of done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when I think back, and I think back of all the journeys and everything, and I actually don't think that. It's like there's a hole there in that journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That I don't actually think about it anymore.
Yeah. So I remember being stuck at Stoke-on-Trent at the services there for weeks. Weeks.
You like your dad in that respect, that you never talk about you. When it comes to emotional stuff, you never talk.
No.
Why?
No, I don't.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just the way I am. I don't know. I can't explain it.
How does it affect?
You say to me all the time, talk to me, and
Yeah.
I just don't know what to say. Do you know what I mean?
But there must be things. It's like when I break down.
Yeah.
That must really get to you.
Yeah, it does. It really upsets me
But why won't you
to
talk?
watch it happen.
Why won't you talk to me about it or anybody? Because it affects you.
Yeah, it affects me. No, I can't answer that question. I really can't answer that question.
It's like for me, when I melt down, there's a cycle where something triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, something triggers in my mind because you can see it coming now. So there's always
Most of the time.
There's always a trigger. Then from the trigger, I start to melt down. Then from meltdown, it goes into like just this lowest point where I'm just kind of this emotionless shell. And then that's where the depression kicks in because I feel that I can't control my own mind. So I get depressed about that.
Yeah.
And then I slowly come out of that depression. In a way, that's my outlet because the kind of meltdown is the outlet of the stress. And then I get the embarrassment and the guilt and the shame of being like that. But you because you don't talk, and I mean, you got to admit, I don't shut up because I want to get it all out, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
And that's what I think I expect you to do.
I'm
And
completely
you don't,
opposite.
Yeah, why? Why won't?
I don't know.
Do you not get lonely not being able to?
No, I don't get lonely. I suppose not talking and the peace and quiet sort of ebbs it away. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
It's like when I'm like that, you think that I don't want to be close to you. And I do want to be close to you, but I want that reassurance. And I feel like I can't come to you because I'm embarrassed and ashamed of my own mind.
Oh, you can always come to me. You know that. I've told you that many, many times.
Going back to what we were talking about earlier, you always look angry, even though you're not. And that's one of the reasons I don't. I kind of want you to come to me. And that sounds really selfish, but I think that it just helps.
Yeah.
And I imagine you've been really lonely because you've got no outlet or nobody to share.
No, not at all.
But I don't understand how you cope with that when you've got no outlet or nobody to talk to about it.
I don't think I understand it myself. It just sort of is. Just sort of is.
But I think it comes out in other ways. That's why I wish you'd talk, because you vape, you drink, you eat junk, you don't exercise.
I don't drink a lot.
I know, but you just kind of go into this sedentary thing that doesn't eat and vapes and drink, and that's damaging like your physical health.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I always worry that combination of your comfort is that it's food, it's just sitting around doing nothing, it's vaping, and the combination of that and the stress is going to kill you one day.
Yeah, but you know I like food when I'm happy as well.
I know that. But I feel guilty because I'm causing it, and then you've got no outlet and you won't talk, and then the combination of your comfort and the stress is going to kill you early, and I'm going to lose you for that.
You don't cause it. It's not. It's something you don't do it on purpose.
Have you ever thought about like just seeing a therapist.
No.
I'm laughing.
You're laughing because you've gone through dozens.
I think I'm on a blacklist, to be honest.
No, I've never thought about that. No.
I am coming to the conclusion that I think therapists are actually cowboys. I think a lot of them are cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They're there to make money.
I think there probably are some
That's
good...
my view.
I think that there are some good ones, and there are therapists that can help certain people for certain things. I think
Yes.
I'm just so complex and so difficult to work with.
It's not that. You cannot change how someone is. I don't think.
Yeah. But that's the problem. Because I can't find a therapist, I sometimes feel like you're my carer, even though I do most of the stuff.
I am your carer.
No, don't you dare ever say that. It's like because I have no control over the triggers and my emotions.
Yes.
It's like you have to look after me, and I don't like that because
I don't look after you though. Not really.
But you do. It's like if we go out anywhere, you're constantly watching and asking if I'm all right.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't like, because in reality, I'm quite an intelligent man, and I do a lot of stuff, don't I?
Oh God, yeah.
And I sometimes feel ashamed that I can't control my own mind and my emotions. I wish I was like you in that respect.
Yeah, and I struggle to understand that for such an intelligent man that you can't. You know you're doing it, but can't stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that. Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes. How that happens.
And explaining that to a therapist is difficult. It's like,
because the therapist doesn't fully understand because they are not going through it.
I don't think there are words. If I'm honest, I don't think there are words. It's like, right, imagine you sat at a computer, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's like in my head, there's 1,000 browser windows open. Yeah, half of them are frozen with the spinny wheel, and I've got no idea where the music's coming from. Do you know what I mean? And it's just...
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you could see inside my head?
No, I don't think I want to.
You really don't want to. It's frightening. I would love to just be able to climb out of it one day. I wish I could be like you and just be so chilled and not worry about stuff. How do you do that?
I don't know. It's just the way I am. It's just how it is. It's just how it is.
I mean, it would be as bad if I could find like a medication, and I don't like meds because I've been through them all.
Every tablet they've invented.
And it's like, okay, it's an anti-anxiety medication, that's fine, and you start taking it, and it might reduce it by like 5% or 10%. It might have a tiny little benefit, but then there's like all these side effects, like headaches, feeling sick, being sick, just feeling completely emotionless.
Yeah.
And then the worst one of all.
Oh. Yeah.
And when you're trying to explain that to a GP, it's like, why don't you want to take this drug anymore if it's having an effect? Well, for a start, it's having like 5% of an effect.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, how do I explain this side effect to the doctor? It's like, right, okay, imagine that you're really excited and you open in the fridge door and you grab hold of that can of squirty cream, and then you give the can a really good shake for a few minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get really excited about it, and then it don't matter how many times you kind of squeeze the top, no cream will come out.
Oh dear.
But the thing is, it's like if you've got really bad anxiety sometimes, if somebody said to me, all right, well, we'll take just 10% of that anxiety away,
Yeah.
I'd actually put up with some of the side effects because it can be that bad. It can affect your life so much.
Yeah.
Imagine being in absolute agony and not being able to move. And if somebody said, well, we'll take away a little bit of that pain, you sometimes you're so desperate that you would do that.
Yeah.
But the problem is when it starts affecting the things that you enjoy in life,
Yeah.
if it's only taking 5 or 10% away of what's really affecting your life, but then it's also taking away one of the biggest pleasures.
Which affects you then even more.
Yeah, but then the GPs and the therapists kind of talk to you as in, well, like I'm ungrateful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
This tablet's helpful. You've got to expect some side effects. It's like, well, no, not being able to enjoy the one big thing that I actually get enjoyment from is not I don't think that's a price to pay. Do you? Would you?
No, I don't think it is actually, no.
I think I'm just... It's difficult to explain. Why are you laughing?
It's always difficult to explain, isn't it?
At least I talk about stuff. It gets embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? When you're talking to a therapist or a GP,
Yeah.
and I mean, I've literally tried dozens and dozens of tablets, and some of the side effects are just weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can understand why some people take them, because side effects affect people differently, and some people don't get that side effect, and some people are not bothered about not being able to have sex or this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, oh, well, it worked for me, and that's fine if it works for somebody, that's fine. But it gets frustrating that I can't find anything that just makes it that little bit better. And then you get all the quacks starting, do you know what I mean? Oh, you need to eat this, you need to stop eating that, you need to, you know what I mean, bend over backwards and touch your toes with your tongue and stuff like that. If I could do that, I wouldn't need you anymore, I tell you.
Oh dear.
What do you think would have happened, just going back to Silver Fox?
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if we had gone ahead and had that new boat built?
I think after going onto the Caledonian Canal and then going to a new boat, would have probably lasted maybe 8 months to a year at the most.
I think you're right. Because I think towards the end, when we were moored up at North Kilworth, we actually moored up in a marina a couple of times in that last couple of months, because we were just getting sick of the idiots, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. It was just nuts out there.
But I don't know if that was like a reason not to go ahead with the boat. I think for me,
I don't think it was.
One of the things that I was wary of is that it wasn't Kev. We wouldn't have been building it with Kev.
Yeah.
And I know some of the others that were building it go back to the Bickerstaff day.
Yeah, because he was retiring, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that put me off, because I think that relationship and that banter that we had with Kev on the original build,
It wouldn't have been the same, would it?
it wouldn't have been the same.
No.
And I think that that would have definitely reflected in the vlogs, wouldn't it?
I think it would, yeah, because we had and we still have that special relationship as a family, don't we?
Yeah. And I think with that not being there, I don't know, I might be completely wrong. It might have been more of a blast or just different. I don't know. But there was that in the back of my mind. It was like, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be the same, but I want it still to have that
Specialness.
Yeah, I used to really look forward. I mean, I know it was like a 2-hour journey, but I used to really look forward to driving over to Liverpool.
Yeah, I did.
To do those vlogs and then drive all the way back again, just because of Kevin and the team there.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been missing.
Yeah, it would have been missing, definitely.
And I think we would have done it. I think we would have got the boat and it would have been all bangs and whistles and everything. And I think we would have got quite a few, we would have vlogged it to death.
Yeah.
And I think
we would.
We would have taken it on some brilliant little adventures. But I think Scotland, because we'd done Scotland, the Caledonian especially, I think that would have always been kind of why haven't we done that? Does that make sense? Because it was calling us really strongly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really strong.
I think it just was calling us, wasn't it? The Highlands were like, come to the Highlands.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
And I was when we left, I was kind of looking forward to the boat, but I was like, no, I want to stay here. When we made that decision, for you, did you go along with it because you thought it was going to kind of help me, or did you go along with it because you wanted it equally as much as I did?
It was half and half. Half and half. Because I knew... I knew the boat life was coming to an end. Yeah, do you get that?
Yeah.
And we needed somewhere peaceful and nice and...
But was it because we were planning on getting a new boat? Do you know what I mean? We had other adventures planned, doing like the River Severn and Bristol and the Kennet and Avon and all that lot. We had all that to do.
Yeah, I know we did.
And that was all going to be on the new boat.
Yeah, it was.
So we had the plans, but I think I was probably pushing for Scotland a bit more.
Yeah, you were pushing for it more than me.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, is why is kind of, now that we've been here 2 years, looking back, did you kind of go along with that more because you thought it would help me, or because you felt like you were being pushed into it?
Oh no, I've never felt like I've been pushed into anything. But yeah, I thought it would help you, and I thought it would be brilliant for us just to be up here in this beautiful place.
Yeah, I think we made the right choice.
Yeah.
Although I think we went about it the wrong way, because living out of a car for 2 months just nearly broke me.
Yeah, that was stressful for you, weren't it?
Never do that again.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think because you always, it's the insecurity, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like things. It's not that I don't like change, because I can adapt with change. People of my ilk
It's just that you don't like change.
are apparently not supposed to like change. I can deal with change, but that was like, we had nothing. We didn't have a house.
No.
We were renting Airbnbs, and we were basically, everything we had was in the back of that car.
All we had were 3 suitcases
and
a car.
I really didn't like that.
No, it wasn't pleasant.
That we didn't have anything, and we were kind of in limbo because the money from the boat was coming in, so we didn't have anything.
No.
And that was really unsettling for a while.
Yeah, it was.
And I think when we got in that first Airbnb, at least I felt a little bit settled that we had a roof over his head.
Yeah, yeah. We had a little bit of a base for a month or 2.
That was more stressful, moving from the boat to Scotland than moving from the house in Yorkshire to the boat.
Yeah, because when we moved from the house in Yorkshire to the boat, we were only homeless for 2 days.
Did I cry? I don't remember if I cried.
Yeah, I think you did.
I know I always cry.
Yeah, you always cry. Yeah, you did.
I cried when we left the boat.
Yeah.
But I don't remember crying leaving the house in Yorkshire.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you've cried on every house we've left.
So, from the boat to here, then, the last 2 years,
Yeah.
has that been the right decision?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Why?
Do you know what? I am absolutely crap at explaining things. You know that. I just think it is. We're so happy here.
The reason I asked you why is because I absolutely knew 100% that you were just going to give like black and white answers, which is all you ever do. You get on at me for dithering and overthinking everything, and you're the complete polar opposite. You
I just don't think about anything, do I?
You don't think about anything. And that's why I get frustrated, because I like to kind of... It's like this barn, yeah?
Yeah.
Because this barn the work didn't start straight away like we wanted to.
Yeah.
Last year or the year before, or whichever decade we decided to have it done. So then I start to overthink, well, actually, should we do this with it? Should we do this with it? And I try bouncing these ideas off you, and it's like trying to bounce, I don't know, blancmange.
Because I actually don't care. Not that I don't care. I don't mind what happens to it. Do you know what I mean?
But I do. And
Yeah.
I value your opinion.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes nice to be able to say something, and not necessarily... Because I know or you think that it doesn't matter what you think, I'll do what I want to do.
Most of the time you do.
Right. But it's sometimes nice to actually have... Like, I might have 3 or 4 ideas, and I might want your opinion on them.
I get you.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to agree with your opinion. I just want an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about, 3 or 4 things that we could do with this bar.
Yeah.
And every time, it's, whatever you want. That doesn't help me. What do you want? Whatever you want.
And it's not that... No, it's not like that. It's because I actually don't mind what happens to it. Do you know what I mean? If I had a certain opinion of how I wanted it to be, I would tell you.
I just think it's funny sometimes how you kind of laugh at me for overthinking and dithering, whereas you're the complete opposite, and you won't help me. And
I'm the complete underthinker.
Underthinker.
I'm the world's best underthinker.
It's like you keep telling me that I'm getting... Even while we've been here for 2 years, it's like you're getting worse. But earlier on you said that when we were talking about it on the boat, when you used to say on the boat, you're getting worse.
I think it's just stress that causes me to say that. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not getting worse, am I?
No, I don't think you
I'm
are.
getting worse. I think I've always been the same. I just think
Yeah.
that we talk about it more.
Yeah.
Well, I do. You don't. You still don't talk about anything.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing, because we highlight it a lot more with each other and other people, it seems worse, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's not.
So now we're here.
Yeah.
We've been here 2 years. We were on the boat 2 years. Do you think
What's next?
Yeah, do you think we'll make some other kind of mad lifestyle change?
I don't think we'll make a lifestyle change, no. I don't think this will be our forever home.
I'd like more land. Do you think we'd
Yeah.
ever... What if we got like more land and built our own house on there?
I'd love to do that. Absolutely love to do that. But
That's
we
not
would
gonna-
have to step back from it and let someone else do it for us.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No.
I've watched too many episodes of Grand Designs.
Yeah. No. It's
What's your budget?
it's stressful.
What's your budget? 150,000. All right, so that'll come in at 600,000. When do you hope to get it finished? Oh, about 12 months. That'll be 4 years then.
Yeah, but look at the houses they build. We don't want nothing spectacular like that.
I'd like a castle.
A castle.
I would really love to live in a castle.
Well, I'm
small
sorry
castle.
to say, but we haven't got castle money.
I would love a castle. I tell you what, I'd like, I know we're already married, but I tell you what I would love.
Yeah.
Because our first wedding was literally us two, my mum, your dad, and a witness.
In the registry office.
I would love to get married. There's a castle nearby. You remember the TV programme Traitors?
Aye.
So Ardros Castle, I would love to get married there, and it's only half an hour away.
Yeah.
So if we started saving and I sold all my Lego,
We might be able to get married in about 20 years.
if we don't do the train barn, we could spend the money on a wedding.
Absolutely. No.
What about if we invited all our followers and subscribers?
I don't think the castle's big enough.
That'd be ace.
I don't think it's big enough.
That'd be ace. What about abroad? Because we used to talk about moving abroad.
I would love to live in a warm climate. I'm rubbing my hands now because I'm cold. But yeah, I would love to live in a warm climate. But since we left Europe, we're not able to do that anymore.
Well, we could live there because I think you're allowed, is it 90 days?
90 days a year.
So what's that, 3 months?
Yeah.
So we could do 3 months and then over the winter, December, January, February, and then come back and do March through to November.
But then that's living somewhere different every 6 months or so, do you know what I mean? And I don't think you would cope with that very well.
It's being unsettled and
Yeah,
uncertainty.
that's
isn't it?
right.
I don't know. I think there's still adventures ahead for us.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. If the rules were changed, I think we would end up somewhere like Spain.
When you look back as a whole then, because we kind of talked about before Silver Fox and then living on Silver Fox and then moving to Scotland.
Yeah.
When you look at it as a whole, as a kind of Foxes Afloat thing from 6 years ago to today, for you, what's the best part of it all as kind of as the package that it is?
I think it's people.
Yeah. It's for me, it's the same.
It's people that we've met and the friends we've made again. Yeah.
It blows my mind thinking that there's hundreds of thousands of people that invest their own time watching us.
Yeah.
Because we're sat in this barn in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Highlands, we can't see anybody, and we don't see really the viewers, do we, and the subscribers and
just
followers.
Occasionally when they recognise us, even in the local shops.
That still gets me as well, that we can walk into a shop in the Highlands of Scotland and somebody will still say, "Foxes Afloat."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Most of the time, it's nearly every time we go to Inverness as well.
It's like crick. I mean, I hate crowds. I hate socialising because not that I'm ignorant. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And I can't process conversation and things like that. And so it frightens me, and that's why I get stressed.
Yeah.
But as bad as that is, meeting all the people at Crick, it was just it was as if the people were...
The people at Cricket was actually mind-blowing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
really
was. It was like the friendliness offset the fear.
Yeah.
And I just loved Crick so much.
Yeah.
Even though it was probably the scariest...
Yeah, it was full on.
Thing of the year.
It was something that I never expected
Remember when we got out of the car and it took us how long?
Oh God, it took us all day to get from the gate in the queue over to the boats, didn't it? And that's about 300 yards.
And we weren't even going for the boats, were we, really?
No.
We were just going for the people, just to say hello.
We just wanted to get over to Kevin soon, didn't we?
Yeah. That is just mad. I loved that so much. But I mean, the weird thing is last 2022, I think, because we went for the whole 3 days, didn't we?
We did, yes.
And it was a bit sad because I think when we left, everybody was kind of packing up on that Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, I think we knew that was the last one, didn't we?
Yeah, and it felt a bit sad. It was like, it actually felt like that's it. That's the end. And it wasn't because...
No, it weren't.
Well, it was Crick. It was the last Crick we went to.
It was, yeah.
But we weren't going to this year, to June, was it June, to 2023 Crick.
Frick.
Quick Crick. But I would have actually still gone, because I think we made a joke about it on social media saying, has anybody got a helicopter?
That would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
I would have gone. If somebody would have said, drive down to Inverness and we will take you down to Crick by helicopter,
Yeah.
I would have been down there like a shot.
Can you imagine us arriving at Crick with a helicopter? They'd be looking up saying, who the hell do they think they are?
All the other jealous boat tubers would have been like, hang on, what's he doing?
Yeah.
It was just mad. I think we will go back to Crick.
We will, yes. I know we will.
I did miss not going in 2023.
Yeah, we really wanted to go, didn't we?
Yeah. So, like, the best things from the last 6 years is the people.
Yeah, definitely the people.
Would you change anything from the last 6 years, from sitting down in that house in Yorkshire talking about buying a boat to sitting here in this barn with a numb bum because we've been sat here this long? Would you change any part of it at all?
No.
Now, come on, there must be some part of the last 6 years that you would, if you could change or do differently.
The only thing I would change would be your anxiety. That is all. That's all. And that's not changing you or anything. But that is all. But apart from that, no, I've loved every second of it.
Yeah. I mean, bad things have happened that we can't change.
No, yeah.
But I wouldn't change. There's one thing I would change. Sat here right now, if I could change anything, there is one thing I'd change. And I would stop that grey pube from growing.
Oh. Did you have to tell them about that?
That's the only thing.
Did you have to tell them about that?
That's the only thing that I would change.
Just pluck it out.
The anxiety, I don't know if... It's like when you talk about you change my anxiety.
Because I don't like to see you suffer.
I know, but it kind of changes me then, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't, no.
And I don't want to be defined by that.
Yeah, I know.
And I know I talk about it sometimes. I could talk about mental health all day on every vlog every week, and I try not to. And it's a balance, because some people want to hear it, because if you talk about something that somebody else is feeling, then they can feel better just by knowing that somebody else goes through that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
Without having to talk about it every week.
Yeah.
But then sometimes people will be like, well, why don't you talk about it more? And it's like, well, if you do talk about it more, then you get people saying, all you ever do is talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And then, but that, I know I'm overthinking again already, because then that starts a process. It does. It starts a process of like, well, yeah, people should be talking about it more because it helps people. And the people that don't want to hear it, I think, are the people that have either not experienced it or don't know or love someone that experiences it.
Yeah, you could be right there, yeah.
But then we're Foxes Afloat, so we're about mental health, but we're also about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it's a delicate balance for me, and I don't want to be defined by the mental health stuff, but I want to get that message out there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, it is crap. The anxiety is crap, and the breakdowns and the meltdowns are crap. But I don't want to be remembered for that. I want to be remembered for all the acting like a 12-year-old and having a single grey pube.
Oh, you'll definitely be remembered for being like a 12-year-old. By me, anyway.
And us, I want to be remembered for us, because we've been together 31 years now.
Oh God, I could have got less murder.
It's unheard of, isn't it? Thank you for that. I hope you weren't talking about murdering me.
Oh dear. You know I'm only joking.
I think the thing about all these lifestyle changes and the adventures is, and the one thing I am glad of is that it continues to bring us two together.
Yeah, I think we are closer since we left our normal jobs, aren't we?
Yeah. Because there was that risk that going from not seeing each other to seeing each other all the time.
Although you couldn't cope.
Get on each other's nerves.
You couldn't cope with it.
And I think it's had the opposite effect. I think it's brought back those kind of early days of how much fun we are together when we're both on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Because we can be like a couple of 10-year-olds when we start.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad because I love you so much, you know.
And I love you.